We head to the land of 10,000 lakes as MLS Next Pro continues on through match week 17. Significant points and table positioning are on the line tonight in the Western Conference. Minnesota United FC2, they have a short turnaround from their loss on Wednesday against LAFC2. They look to avenge their midweek performance against Tacoma Defiance, who found themselves in plenty of one-score affairs this season. And the question is, can they finish off June undefeated with all 3 points today? Well, I'm Josh Lill. Happy to have you with us on a beautiful Sunday evening in Blaine, Minnesota. And for the hosts, they've played countless academy players as of late. They've gained valuable experience, but can they pull off the ultimate goal of getting a regulation victory with those young players? That'll be key for sure. And for Tacoma, they matched Minnesota's 1-0 match on Sunday. They came out on the winning side, though, but for the hosts and Coach Adi, he starts Keen Perkins in net, one of 3 starters changed from that midweek fixture. Sully Maines makes his first professional start tonight. And the back line, all 4 members are academy products under the age of 19. 2026 MLS Next All-Star Max Harwood leads the charge in the midfield. And the 5 in the Central Park should allow Coach Adi to carry out his aggressive pressing tactics, as well as winning the ball up high on the pitch and creating those short field scenarios. And Troy Putt fills in for Marcus Caldera and Darius Randall atop. Those 2 have combined for 16 goals this season and are unavailable for selection tonight. Taking a look at Tacoma, Mohamed Shower recorded his first professional shutout against Real Monarchs on Sunday, and he looks to keep the momentum rolling. And they need that from a goalkeeper when you've had a plethora of one-score games. Academy product Mitchell Emmert starts on the back line, and that allows for Charlie Gaffney, the team's leading assist man, to be more aggressive on that right flank. But for Tacoma, it could look like a 5-back at times, depending on the positioning of Rafael Jauregui or Charlie Gaffney. Mark O'Neill got an assist on Sunday. Not many playmakers in Next Pro can cover the whole length of the pitch. The former Creighton Blue Jay certainly can cover as much ground as possible. And Mark Bronick, he scored in back-to-back matches. Can he make it 3 in a row today? Well, we're just moments away from kickoff in Minnesota. It is the Twosies who welcome Tacoma Defiance to town. And each side coming off of 1-0 victories. Not often you see that in MLS Next Pro. But the tales were completely different. And for Tacoma, they had the breakthrough just before the hour mark with Mark Bronick. Such a physical player atop the formation for Tacoma. And that physicality matched with tremendous skill on the ball and in 1v1 scenarios. For Minnesota, that 1-0 loss, they were quite limited by LAFC2's dominant defense. This is now the 9th all-time meeting between these 2 clubs. Minnesota, they've not led the all-time series, but they've been quite strong at home. 2 wins, a loss, and 1-for-1 in PKs. Funny enough, the last 2 matches between these 2 clubs that have been played have all gone to penalty kicks. Tacoma victorious in the former, Minnesota in the latter. But this Defiance defense has found success against Minnesota as of late. They've only conceded 3 goals in their last 3 matches against the Twosies. Can that defense stand strong today, or will Minnesota, with all their academy products on the pitch, find a way to break through? We have many questions as kickoff approaches, and we hope the answers come to fruition. There's the whistle, and we are underway from Blaine, Minnesota. Minnesota United FC2 and Tacoma Defiance do battle here in match week 17. I'm Josh Lill, happy to have you with us tonight. We apologize for the delay at the start of the match and this late start, but nonetheless, you've got us for some Sunday night footy. As that one's played through, flag stays down for now. Chance at open space, deflected up. Minnesota scrambling to protect the end line. And they come together. A dangerous run from Tacoma to start. That's what these Minnesota defenders have to keep an eye out on. They were very good against LAFC2 in transition. Very much a bend don't break mentality. Oftentimes LAFC2 got through the first 2/3 with ease, but then life was made tough in that final attacking third sequence. Into the corner, and Tacoma stay on the ball. Cody Phoenix over for the throw-in duties. He's now started 14 of 15 matches. Phoenix a regular on this back line that is quite fluid in its look. Right now a three-back system, but again, the outside players very well could drop in and make it a five-back formation. And as Hauregi hounded in the middle and draws the foul against Jabari Kabisu. Tacoma threatening early on. Can Defiance the road team today? They work right to left. They're in the blue kits. Threatening at the edge of the area. A clean dispossession from Jaden Bernard, who had that costly penalty that led to the lone goal on Wednesday night for LAFC2. Coach Fernando Andi felt like in that performance in Southern California, given his side's availability and all the academy products that had to go onto the pitch for the match, he knew it'd be a tough game. And in that moment for Jaden Bernard, it's about staying on your feet when defending in the box. The slightest bit of contact could result in the greatest fear of a defense in soccer, and that is conceding a penalty. Coach Adi knew LAFC2 would come out powerful and strong, quick on the counter. And that game truly was up for grabs if Bernard plays good defense, as he has Max, or did have Max Harwood right there for reinforcements. That penalty might not have happened, and a team that trotted so many academy players onto the pitch very well could have taken LAFC2 to penalty kicks. But the offense did not record a shot on target in the match. It was a rough go for the attack, but the defense again came together. Coach Adin felt like his side, if they didn't execute at the level they did, they could have conceded 3 or 4 goals. The communication was superb, and it had Minnesota within striking reach all match. Cody Phoenix, 1 assist on the year. Winslow around. It's jarred free. Seddon has lost it initially, and now a chance for Minnesota. It's rifled in. Shower right there. Mohamed Shower coming off his first professional clean sheet. Seems to be in good form yet again here. A wind up in a good chance for Hector Cruz. in open space, but Mohamed Shower, again, not too aggressive off his line, but trust that 6'2" frame that stands tall between the sticks. Carly took it the whole way, was able to protect it from the quick feet of Max Harwood. And Tacoma set up shop. Yalati wanted the give and go, and Harwood with the intercept. Hector Cruz. That ball deflected out past the byline, and it's our first corner kick of the evening. Hector Cruz, one of two players that made their first professional starts on Wednesday night, along with the likes of Mohamed Bojang. 5 academy products started that match. 8 in total appeared in that game against LAFC 2. Tonight, 8 academy products in the starting 11. Very much a chance we could see a player's first professional goal contribution, but we won't get that chance on that sequence as Shower collects. Carly. Aggressive switch of the field, and Yalauti as that one last touched by the defender. He led to the corner spot. Hauregi nearby for reinforcements, I should say. It is Hauregi to touch. Nyalati, curler, backside, headed up. It was inviting, but could not test Keen Perkins. Another look at it here. Just a quick 1-2. It's put into traffic, and it does find a head. That's the action you want if you're Paulo Nagamura. Stripped away. Mark Bronick at the forefront of that opportunity. He's central, and it's saved by Perkins. Well, Tacoma certainly had numbers. They were able to get that one into the box in a tricky manner. And that threw that Minnesota defense off its hinge. Now they work in transition. Hector Cruz evades a couple of defenders. Cruz, the 16-year-old, and double teamed. Last touched by Cruz, and Tacoma take over. Bronick whistled for the foul. Cruz takes one for the team. And it's Minnesota with an early advantage in terms of positioning on the pitch. It's Jacob Friedman, the former Monmouth University man. Had a career-high 8 assists a year ago at Monmouth. Can he net one here? Finds a defender immediately. Shower bats it. He's off his line. Cruz collects. It's off of Hauregi and out for a Minnesota corner kick. Jacob Friedman took the last set piece. He is set to do so here. Minnesota entering the match week top 3 in the league in corner kicks accumulated over the season. It gets down. Friedman, heavy touch, settles it down. Troy. Falls deep in the backside, and Minnesota able to control. Anderson Ferris around. Cruz, it was left short. His teammates have his back, able to pick it up. And Kabisu sends in a recycle. Main's around. They couldn't find that overlapping run of Harwood. Ferris. Cruz inside, and what Minnesota are looking to do right now is stretch out this Tacoma defense and find a pocket or two right in that central area of the pitch. They haven't been able to yet, and it's in part due to the quickness and the recovery rate of the Defiance. Well, if I told you that Tacoma Defiance nearly trailed in every major statistical category in their 1-0 victory of Real Monarchs, you might think I'm joking around, but that is not the case. Aside from corner kicks, saves, clearances, and fouls, Real Monarchs had the edge attacking-wise, and does Tacoma have an answer here? It falls out for a corner kick on that deflected pass attempt. What that really says is they were effective in the chances that were presented at Paulo Nagamura's side. And that's been a focus all throughout the year for Coach Nagamura and his staff, is just working in that finishing phase. The build-up, the creation, they felt confident. And that improvement is still growing in the execution of plays in the final third, although today they have not found that golden foot yet. Minnesota throw-in. Tacoma take over. Exchange right now in the midfield with head referee Lauren Aldrich as she sets the wall following the Minnesota foul. Niaulati and Phoenix stand over this set piece. It's one back by Minnesota. Cruz goes down, he's tripped up. Tacoma certainly on the front foot to begin the match. They've out-edged Minnesota in shots. Shots on target, and right now, the passing is at a premium. The visitors exceeding 93% accuracy when sharing the ball. You can see on that near touchline, Paulo Nagamura motioning for his guys to come to the ball, put pressure on, and force Minnesota to make a mistake. They do break through here momentarily. It's Jacob Friedman onto his left. Friedman thought it was last touched by Charlie Gaffney. Not the case, as it ricocheted back off the New York forward. And Tacoma take over. This portion of the match is brought to you by the experts at Alina Health, an altogether better kind of healthcare. Learn more at alinahealthcare.org. The goal kick, we're back underway. Keen Perkins has had to make a couple of saves for Minnesota. Could be tested again. And Mohamed Bojang not messing around. Clears that one away from the premise of Mark Bronick. Tacoma turn it over in an attempt to find Cody Phoenix deep on the near flank. Again, his crossing capability is one of the best on the team. What Defiance need, though, is contributions from others scoring-wise. Mark Bronick, who just had that quick touch, he's one of two players on this team that has scored multiple goals this year. The other being Yoon Tsukunomi. A team-high 5 goals. Bronick trails with 4. They certainly need scoring in a variety, because there will come a point throughout the year where Bronick is heavily marked, and it will call for others to step up. Although it certainly hasn't mattered. Mark Bronick has scored in back-to-back matches against Houston Dynamo too, as well as Real Monarchs. Tacoma nearly lost it. Yalati wanted to thread the needle. Minnesota came together to take away that opportunity. Winslow with a stretch. It's short-lived. Well, there was an infraction committed by Minnesota. So it sets up Tacoma in a pretty spot. Nialati inside finds O'Neal. Oh, it was certainly threatening. And Keen Perkins goes untested. But a well-timed run off the free kick, and Mark O'Neal unmarked. Somehow got through Jaden Bernard and Mohamed Bojang. A couple of young teenagers on the back line for Minnesota as this one's turned over. It could be costly. How Ragi, not the ball he certainly wanted. It looked like it was intended for Xavi Nyalanti. It was sent right by him. And now Tacoma. They set up possession. Winslow around. Dangerous ball. He's bailed out. Haregi evades the defender and sends that one through. It's Bronick, touched, and Perkins recovers. Oh, what a ball that was from Rafael Haregi to Mark Bronick. A couple of former USL League One players with that connection. It was just a little heavy. But if Bronick was able to get there, my goodness, he's hard to stop from point-blank range. Simply ran a defender over en route to a goal on Sunday. Tacoma, not a team that generally passes the ball at a high rate, nor shoots with premium accuracy, but what they really rely on is this blue-collar defense. And throughout the year, the several times we've been able to talk with Tacoma, Paul Hagamura has preached having control and valuing the ball whether you have it or not. It's really set the tone for this attack that has found success in transition. It's certainly been a game changer, given all the one-score games they've been in. Their last 4 matches have been one-goal affairs, with 3 of those specifically being 1-0 matches, where they've gone 3-1 in those games. But that success in those tightly contested affairs, it's only recent, as there's 3-5 in those exact scenarios throughout 2026. But again, to go through those matches, face adversity, come together as a team, that certainly strengthens the bond. It's part of the main reason, I should say, that this Tacoma team has continued to climb the table in the Western Conference. Win here today could do wonders as Phoenix over the head of Bronick. Falls to Friedman. And Sandez plays that one over the advertising boards on the far side. Quick touch and one back. Intercepted. Oh, beautiful move from Troy. Troy opts outside. It's Jacob Friedman. And Troy immediately works central. It does fall to him. Spins and evades. Sets up a cross. Kabisu ready for it. Look for the volley. Dribbles through 3 defenders. Kabisu keeps the heart beating on this Minnesota attack. Interesting ball, somehow kept in by Shower. Don't know if he needed to touch that one, but he does. And prevents the corner kick in the process. How about Sully Maines here? First professional start. The ball might have been a little deceptive from the point of view of Mohamed Shower. Nonetheless, Tacoma come away unscathed and look for an answer. This portion of the match is brought to you by Allianz Life Insurance Company of North America, proud worldwide insurance partner of the International Olympic and Paralympic Committees. Phoenix times that run well. Flag stays down, it's Phoenix, and that one might have gone off Sully Maines. It did not. And great one-on-one defending as Maines had to cover ground. He was quite behind. Got there in time. And it was just enough to throw Phoenix ajar. Maines chases. Maines a big part of history for Minnesota United FC2, as well as the first team. Him and his identical twin brother, Will, became the first pair of identical twin brothers to play on the pitch at the same time in club history for either the first or second team. They took part in the final 15 minutes of that match on Wednesday against LAFC2. His brother Will has appeared in 2 matches this year for 16 minutes, and Sully will now have the minutes advantage over his brother as he gets the start today. Long ball tested for Troy. Troy cuts inside, he's blocked. It falls, Harwood deflection. And no deflection there. Our eyes are deceived, and a substitution in the first half coming here. It's Sully Maines who steps out. And academy player Brody Schauf makes his debut appearance as he checks onto the pitch and receives a nice round of applause. Certainly a shorthanded team, only 5 players available on the bench for Fernando Adi. And for Sully Maines, who only made his first professional appearance just a matter of days ago, puts in a good first 28 minutes in start. And now it's time for Brody Schauf in his professional debut. What can the 17-year-old academy product provide here as we're a little over the halfway point in the first half? Harwood had to cut through a couple of defenders and unleashes the attack. It's played through to Troy. Troy has Bernard. That one took a deflection, and Minnesota have a corner kick. Corner kick ensues. It looks good. Stays in the area. Cruz pops it up. Tried to back down his defender. And Tacoma last to touch as that preceded the ball going out past the byline, and Minnesota again have another corner kick. Troy just one of 3 players here at Minnesota United FC2 with first team minutes on the year. Had 4 of them against Austin. It's the only match he's played in for the first team. As how about Brody Schauf? Gets things a little chippy. He's tugged to the ground. He draws a free kick that could be quite advantageous for Minnesota United FC2. Jacob Friedman, 1 goal on the year. Signed a 1-year deal, headed into the year end. This is his moment. If he goes direct, can it be lethal? It's Friedman going for goal. It's off the woodwork. Volleyed in Minnesota. Nine academy products on the pitch. And it's 19-year-old Troy who gives Minnesota the lead. And you can see the joy from all the teenagers out on the ground. We mentioned if Friedman goes for goal, how dangerous could it be? Troy had to go to the ground for his second goal of the year. And we mentioned one of the few players on this team with first team minutes. And that's why we just love this beautiful game. It's meant for all ages. And that's a moment many of those academy products will never forget, being a part of a goal. For many of them, they made their professional debuts either today or on Wednesday. That is the first goal that they may have been on the pitch for, and it's a moment certainly that will be ingrained in their memories forever. At the half-hour mark, can Tacoma find an answer? Minnesota with the momentum. They had been building toward it. First 10 minutes or so certainly belonged to Tacoma. How quickly they were able to win the ball. But the hosts, they've remained compact. And the recovery, it's been eye-opening. Fernando Adi praised his academy, stating they've gotten better as each year has gone along. They have a heavy pull from the local area and really the northern part of the Midwest. And in these moments where they get this pivotal playing time, it's often they're playing against players that are anywhere from 5 to 8 years older than them. It's a good experience, a great challenge, and right now, they are playing as one collective unit. Could it be because many of these players spent so much time in the academy levels together? Certainly could be. But maybe due to the coaching and the willingness of these players to learn the traits of the others and come together for a greater cause and pick up all 3 points when it's least expected, as Bojang battles on the byline. And Tacoma have a chance to answer on this corner kick. In swinger. They'll say last touched by Tacoma. And Keen Perkins off his line to take this goal kick. Minnesota over their last 4 matches. In their 2 wins in that stretch, they've scored 9 goals and conceded 5. In the losses, they've netted 1 and conceded 4. What can they do here? This one squeaks through. It's along the byline. That's as close as it'll get for Minnesota. What a stop. That one might have ricocheted off the woodwork. And that ball tiptoed the end line. No other way about it. Mohamed Shower lucky that no Minnesota players were there to tap it in. Bojang. Ferris. Bernardin awaits the give and go and does not receive. Good heads-up play from Brody Schaff to win it back. Prevent Tacoma from getting out in transition. Luciano Pacota. Inviting run for Troy. Looks to the backside. And Tacoma clear. Shaw for the throw. Plays it short. Pacota sees an opening. It's Ferris. Testing Shower. Oh, what a leaping stop from Mohamed Shower to keep it a one-goal game. Now, Minnesota have certainly had the green light from distance and will continue to find their chances. Good touch to settle it down. Bernard. Harwood quickly nearly gave it away. And it's cleared. This portion of the match is brought to you by Target. Target is here for the love of the loons. Awkward fall there from Troy as this one slips through. Tacoma with a chance to even. And Perkins sprawls to the turf. As Bronick was lurking within his vicinity. And Minnesota quick to work and trying to double their lead before the break. Troy on the long ball. Zednes takes cleanly. Winslow. Hasn't been easy for Tacoma. They've only played at home 3 times since the start of May. They've won all 3 of those home games, including last Sunday against Real Monarchs. The fact that they've been able to pick up results in bunches, being away from the Pacific Northwest, it speaks volumes to the talent of this team. And again, that bond you have on the road. It's to the credit of many clubs in MLS Next Pro. As that one's put through. Flag stays down, and Tacoma even it up. It is officially a goal. And we'll take another look at it here. Mark Bronick, for the 3rd consecutive match, has netted one. And we are deadlocked right before the break. The ability of this Tacoma team to win on the road, it has completely changed the narrative in their season. A task or challenge is never too daunting for Paulo Nagamura's side. They've only allowed 2 goals this month, including today, and have a chance to finish undefeated in the month of June. It won't be easy, but they've made that task a little bit easier. They conceded off 1 set piece already. Sure to refine things here. They're the first to the ball. Carly. Troy shields the ball and allows Minnesota to take over. Errant pass. Oh no, Tacoma on the break. And the offside flag raised into the air. And Tacoma were licking their chops at that scoring chance. Somehow gets through. Minnesota asks all the questions. Can they get one more answer? They've seen their ups and downs in scoring this year. Had 5 goals 2 matches ago against St. Louis City 2. Were shut out against LAFC 2 on the road. They've gotten back on the score sheet today, but with Tacoma's stingy defense, may not see 5 today. Only time will tell. But they are out in front in shots and shots on target. Cruz. Give and go. That windup from Troy in search of the brace. It's blocked. Schaff. Hauregi with a nice dribble. The pass is into space for Tacoma. They've been pristine. Another great chance. It's headed. Bronick. Another one. That's stopped. Carly goes down. The Tacoma players appealed to Lauren Aldridge for a possible penalty. As Mark Bronick is on the ground, he motions for the training staff to come onto the pitch. Paulo Nagamura not happy about it. Here it is again. Bronick at the edge of the 6-yard box. May have gotten touched there, and Brody Schaff might have gotten away with a penalty. Collided in the air with the lower body of Mark Bronick and did not allow him to land cleanly. For the injury, it is a drop ball scenario. Tacoma players ready to pounce. Shaw fights through the contact. That one flicked forward. Corralled by Kibisu. Jabari Kibisu opens things up with Jacob Friedman. Friedman struck iron earlier. Definitely possesses the potential to net a beauty. Bernard onto the ground. It slips by Troy. One-timer for Cruz. Blocked. It sits. Recovered by Kibisu. Wasn't given the chance to turn and face the goal. Schaff. Not a good giveaway, and you can hear the woes in the crowd as Bronick sees the keeper off the line. It's a good test, as Keen Perkins was in no position to make a save. Bronick likes his chances there. And not much added time here at the end of the first half, just 2 minutes. Shown on the near touchline, indicated by the 4th official. Perkins skies this one into the attacking half. First touched by Tacoma. They get another head on it. Allows Rafael Hauregi to attempt to run through. And a trio of Minnesota players were at his feet. And it's Troy with the infraction. Under 90 seconds to go until the approximate conclusion of the half. Troy and Mark Bronick on the score sheet for their respective clubs. Entry denied. Did not fall to Tacoma. Aggressive tackle right in the midfield. And here's our first booking of the evening. Lauren Aldridge with no hesitation as she goes to the pocket. Mitchell Emmer into the books, the first player tonight for either side. Not much time left here. Could we see Perkins go for goal? Off the near side. Bakota taken down, but there is the first half whistle. Minnesota United FC 2 and Tacoma Defiance deadlocked at 1 as the first 45 concludes, and what the sight you want to see is there's a bit of a shakeup in the midfield. Good to see Luciano Bakota back to his feet. Coming up in our halftime show, we look ahead for a new club in Long Island, plus highlights and our upcoming schedule after this timeout.
They say the world's game is played everywhere. This is how we play it here. Every weekend across North America. From Vancouver's mountain rain to the shores of Florida. From the City of Angels to the Heartland. The world's brightest stars light up our fields.
Let's go.
And our fans bring the world to life. In every language, in every city. One game, one roar. Sold out nights under lights. New soccer citadels rising from coast to coast. Every chant, every goal, another brick in a growing relief. Now, the world's biggest stage comes to our home. And when they arrive, they'll find the game's heartbeat has been here all along.
Welcome back. We visited with Grand Rapids last weekend. Now let's head to the Northeast and check in with another future club, the Island FC.
The opportunity to build a professional soccer club in Long Island, to me is really unique. Number one, because I'm from New York, I'm from Queens. It's a community that I'm very familiar with, that I resonate with. Long Island has a tremendous source of pride that only Long Islanders know and feel. To do this in a place where there is such a rich soccer history, on the youth end, professionally, is also unique. We're not just launching a soccer club. We're launching a culture. We're launching a community space. We're launching a brand and a team that will make Long Island proud. The Island FC will represent, not just what's happening on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. And at the end of the day, I want to make sure that we certainly give more than we take, and that's in all parts of the organization and the club.
I came to Long Island 40 years ago now and created the very first professional coaching organization. And out of that has grown this tremendous industry of viral coaching, super clubs and companies. And this is really an end result for that. It's an opportunity through the Island FC to act as an embracing organization that really brings the island together in a significant way and propels male and female soccer to the top. This is bringing professional soccer right to the heart of Long Island, and it makes that dream a reality. They will see young Long Island players coming through and playing pro here with the Island FC and representing Long Island on that international stage.
The biggest sporting event in the world is embracing two ideas that started here. One designed to keep the game moving, another designed to better protect the players within it. Both were first tested in MLS Next Pro.
The league launched in 2022, but prior to that, there were 4 pillars that we came around, really rallied around, where we wanted to build and drive growth. Those 4 pillars were professional development, local communities, access, and innovation. The game has been around for over 100 years, but for the most part, a lot of the rules have stayed the same. But the game has evolved so much, particularly over the last 30 years.
MLS Next Pro has been a really good proving ground for a lot of these new rules that they're bringing into effect. The players in the competition have been very open to trying out new things. We've seen some really, really good developments, and a lot of the things that have been trialed in that competition have been elevated to MLS, and now we're seeing elevated to the FIFA level as well. This was something that it was easy for them to, that's very, very similar to what we've been doing already.
Ideas don't become rules overnight. Changing the game meant bringing people together from every corner of the sport.
I think it took a lot of courage for us to implement some of the new rules, but we knew that if we did it in an authentic way and we got information from so many different stakeholders and parts of the game, that we could do it in a safe way that would help players, would help administrators and coaches, and really would be good for the sport.
Eventually, the conversation moved from meeting rooms to match day.
Well, I was fortunate enough to be a part of the first game ever with this in MLS Next Pro in 2022, where we got an email. We had to join a webinar where we had to go over these rules, and there was great understanding of how this was going to go and overview about these 2 specific rules that we're going to have implemented specifically for MLS Next Pro. So I really thought the on-field treatment rule was an awesome implementation, because that's something that we deal with a ton as referees. It's something that causes friction and always causes issues for game management when you have players going down for injuries and calling a trainer on when it's not necessarily a serious injury. So I knew initially that was going to be a fantastic one, that was going to be helping our game improvement. And then the substitution rule we knew was also going to be one of the ones that was going to help. So I was really looking forward to doing that one and implementing that, because it's something that's game management we have to deal with.
The expectation was that there would be an adjustment period, maybe even resistance. Nobody knew how the players would respond once the whistle blew.
Players bought into it really quickly, and it was something that the entire league was able to understand it, and really you saw buy-in from everybody, and it was just really easily implemented at MLS Next Pro, and really didn't see much pushback. The biggest thing that I've seen is where players are smart enough to know if they leave the field voluntarily with our permission, they don't have to wait a minute. So if they're near the sideline or the end line or something where they say, hey ref, I just need a minute, I'm gonna go off, perfect. They can go off and get whatever treatment they need to, and they know they don't have to wait the minute. You're getting your treatment that you have, you're not implementing any of the the on-field treatment rules or anything. You're just taking yourself out of it for a second. So that's where players really come in smart to how they handle things. And then for the substitution rule, I've seen several times where I would talk to a captain and I tell him the player has to come off, and he's not. And you see a captain or a teammate pushing that player off the field because they know that if you're not off in that 10 seconds, they don't want to play for 10 at the disadvantage that they would have.
The changes on field were obvious, and the numbers told the same story.
The data was really compelling. If you look at the numbers before the rule was implemented, on average, for those stoppages associated with injuries that are 15 seconds or more, you really were looking at stoppages in games that were 5 to 6 times per game. Once we implemented the new rules, that number went down to between 1 and 1.5 times per game. And so the data was very, very compelling that when you implemented a rule like this, it really would reduce those preventable match delays. And that was really exciting for us. But when you do the analysis in terms of number of fouls and yellow cards and red cards and some of those metrics, we found that those remain consistent whether the rule was in place or not. And that was a positive dynamic for us. And it's one of the key indicators that the rule's working.
The experiment was working in MLS Next Pro and was brought to MLS 2 years later. That success pushed these ideas to the biggest stage in the game.
It's amazing that every single law change that comes into play comes from some competition or some situation that happened at maybe it was UEFA Champions League final, or maybe it was another World Cup that inspired a rule change. So to have from our own competition, coming from North America to have a rule change come into play for me, it's special because I've been there from the very beginning. I've helped implement this from a management standpoint, so I'm excited to see how it's going to be implemented on the world stage by competitions, by referees, and by teams from around the world.
For the people who helped build it, the impact is still sinking in.
You never really understand the impact that you might have on the sport. And so to be part of MLS Next Pro and to be part of this process and leading this process as it relates to new rules and innovation has been a real shining star for me as it relates to my career. I'm just super excited and proud and grateful to be part of the process. I can't wait for the games to happen in the World Cup and to see them. These are important new rules for the growth of the game, so it's extremely rewarding, and I can't articulate how happy and proud I am.
Well, in addition to the rules influences at this summer's FIFA World Cup, 105 players at the tournament have spent time with an MLS club, with 44 of these players developed through the MLS player pathway. And of these 44 players, 19 spent time in MLS Next Pro. And fans can get a closer look at this historic group by heading to MLSNextPro.com. Our score at half, we are even at 1 between Minnesota United FC2 and Tacoma Defiance. We've got plenty more coming up, including highlights, stats, and of course, second half kick. Who will break the deadlock? Only time will tell. But first, before we take a look at those, let's look at latest scores from around the league and all the action that's gone on over the past couple of days. So on Friday Night Lights, New York City FC2 go on the road to knock off Connecticut. San Jose victorious on that West Coast rivalry with Timbers 2. Crown Legacy walk away in PKs versus Atlanta, but Chattanooga at home, they draw 2 points against Chicago Fire. Colorado Rapids 2 finally pick up their first regulation win on the year in a 1-0 shutout of Whitecaps FC2. And VCFC manhandled Real Monarchs as they suffer their second consecutive loss. Well, what's to come here in MLS Next Pro? On the 250th birthday of the United States, Atlanta United 2 host Toronto FC2. Inter Miami still struggling in search of another victory to climb out of the Eastern Conference, the depths of the Eastern Conference. In North Texas, champions just a few years ago, host St. Louis, and plenty more action on Sunday. Connecticut United welcoming Carolina Core. The reigning champs, Red Bull New York 2, go on the road to face FC Cincinnati 2. Houston Dynamo 2, one of the best teams in MLS Next Pro, both attacking-wise and defensively. welcome in Minnesota United FC2, and in the nightcap, Crown Legacy host Orlando City B in Eastern Conference action. Taking a look at highlights from the first half of play. Each side came into this one coming off a 1-0 victory apiece, but today action was surging in the first half. Hector Cruz had a chance. Then Jacob Friedman hit the woodwork on a free kick, and it was Troy to put it home. That would make it 1-0 Minnesota. But the hosts, they wouldn't be done. A second goal nearly squeaks through, and Mohamed Shower lucky that that one quite literally tight-roped on the byline. And then it was a quick response for Tacoma. Minnesota couldn't believe it, and Mark Bronick, for the third consecutive match, heads that one in to make it 1-1. We're just moments away from the final 45 minutes of play in Blaine, Minnesota. We'll be back with stats and more coming up soon. Minnesota, Tacoma, even at 1.
Yeah, boys hear sentiment, flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still sticking ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best, can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next, just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now. Oh yes, man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Moments away from second half kick in Minnesota. The Doozies take on Tacoma Defiance tonight. We're even at 1 apiece. Will this deadlock be broken? 45 minutes will tell. Minnesota United FC2 in the black kits. They go right to left. Tacoma left to right. Warren Aldrich checks the watch. Sounds the whistle, and we are underway for the second half of play between Minnesota United FC2 and Tacoma Defiance, but it appears the visitors went a little too quickly on the second half kickoff, and that one stands true. Again, we're happy to have you with us tonight. I'm Josh Lill, set to take you the final 45 minutes of this one. Minnesota with the early throw in, and they're even right now in shots and shots on target with Tacoma. 10 total and 4 on frame. Could see a fifth here from Tacoma if this gets through. It nearly fell to Mark Bronick, but he was not ready for it. where Tacoma really stood out was the passing numbers. They edged Minnesota in that category by nearly 20 passes. And they did so in an accuracy just north of 85%. But where Minnesota found their success on that goal specifically was on set pieces. They lead the match, corner kicks 4-3. Whether it's corner kicks, free kicks, you name it. It's a team that relies on set pieces. They certainly have the quality to convert. They'll be forced to defend here as Bojang gets a touch and draws the corner kick. Mohamed Shower with part of 6 clearances in the first half, made a trio of saves, identical to Keen Perkins. And the foul count fairly low, 5-4 Tacoma. Perkins bats it away. He thought he was fouled. Lauren Aldridge saw otherwise. And Edson Carley takes the throw-in duties. Not actually, he opts off. Emmert. Sandnes. Back to Emmert. Emmert, the 18-year-old academy product. Played in just 46 minutes a year ago. And has surpassed 200 on the season today. This one tiptoed through. Tacoma somehow keep. Takedown in the area. No malintent there. The visitors keep the throttle forward. Harwood. Perkins plays it quickly. Eight academy players in the starting 11 today for Minnesota. Certainly relying on their young talent, to say the least, but certainly their future to go get them a result today. They had all 3 points, but in just 8 minutes, Tacoma stole their thunder. Minnesota have been good at home this year. 4 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws. Carly to Gaffney. Curling ball right to the chest of Perkins. Christers Bita not fit for the match. And certainly has the capabilities to make plenty of saves for Minnesota. Had 10 against St. Louis and 6 against LAFC2. It's a hard act to follow if you're Keen Perkins, but he's had quite the season coming into today. Has stopped 68% of the shots he's faced, recorded 3 shutouts, only allowed 6 goals in 4 meetings. He's a formidable option behind Christers Bita. And in a stretch where many of the top players on the second team have been unavailable, with a very young and inexperienced defense in front of him, Keen Perkins has been quite good today. The same could be said for Christers Bita on Wednesday against LAFC2. This one through to Gaffney. Collects out of the air and retreats. Gaffney, O'Neal, a great passer. And Minnesota got the memo. Did not give him any breathing room. And it's a credit to Jabari Kabisu to get to his spot and prevent entry into the box. Tacoma now have a corner. In swinger, on the ground. Carly from distance went off a couple of players and eventually falls to Keen Perkins. Minnesota have done a good job of limiting the counterattack today. It's been impressive to see the adjustments they made after LAFC 2 got off to a flying start on Wednesday. They then forced the hosts at that point to break them down, and the same could be said today for Tacoma. A lot of the action that Defiance have had, they've worked through those first 2/3 of the build quite quickly, but then in that finishing phase, it's been slim pickings, and it's not so much due to a lack of execution by Paulo Nagamura's side by any means, but it speaks volumes to the compactness that this Minnesota team is playing with here tonight. First to the ball, as you can see atop. That one somehow gets by Rafael Jauregui. He thought he was in the right positioning. Perkins wasting a bit of time. He'll see the ball again. This portion of the match is brought to you by Bell Bank, a family and employee-owned bank. Sednez played it to the far side. He sits back alone with Emmert. As this one gets through, Bronick offside. Man, this front line for Tacoma Defiance, it has such a high motor. Look at the creation ability for Mark Bronick. Like we mentioned, a heavy runner, great 1v1, knows how to press. And then his mate just to the right of him, Ensign Carly, able to set up guys like Mark Bronick. Open up the run on the near side for someone like number 84 on the near side, Charlie Gaffney. He's quite fluid in his movements, picks out the right spots to get to. And that's what makes Tacoma so dangerous when they're an attempt when they're attempting to win the ball up high on the pitch, because they are immediate threats to goal. If they can catch you lacking in the slightest, they will punish you. You look at that headed goal by Mark Bronick. It didn't appear that Tacoma were threatening in the moment, and then all of a sudden, a stellar pass from the far side of the pitch into the area. Found Mark Bronick, right spot, right time. Plain and simple, this is a team that strikes at any moment. Gaffney. And Bernard able to win it. Tough pass by Harwood. Troy receives. Troy had the opening goal tonight. Bojang. Oh, nice slide there from Hauregi. Didn't want to give Minnesota any opportunity in open space. All but 2 goals this year for Minnesota have been scored outside the box. If you're talking just in open play, and you take a penalty kick out of there, as well as 1 goal outside the box, the rest have been in. There's a presence that Fernando Adi's side carries into the final third. They have that ability to bring that helter-skelter mentality into the 18-yard area and force defenses to scramble. They could scramble here. The build promising. Troy puts the brakes on, and it's intercepted. Finally falls to Minnesota. Kibisu. Friedman. And a foul against Minnesota. The crowd could not believe it. And every single Minnesota United FC2 player turned toward the direction of Lauren Aldrich, put their palms in the air, and immediately began asking questions. Those not answered, and Tacoma now takes the free kick. No recipient there. And Minnesota take the goal kick. This portion of the match is brought to you by the experts at Alina Health. An altogether better kind of healthcare. Learn more at alinahealth.org. Friedman sees space, intends to work with it. Troy, the lone Minnesota goal scorer, ran over and draws the foul. And Minnesota scored off of 1 free kick already. Can they do it again? Jacob Friedman heads into the crowd. He's likely to not take the set piece now. It appears this one belongs to Troy. Scored his first ever MLS Next Pro goal against SKC2 on June 8th. The second-year man with a chance to make a statement and continue to write his name all over this match. Troy, that one has a wicked curl on the backside and could not find Bojang. Troy put a hefty amount of English on that ball. It looked good from our point of view, but no one was backside to receive it. Leo Flores and Danny Robles in for Tacoma. Robles, once an academy product. Spent 3 years in the USL Championship with the second team, and then went off to Northern Colorado for a few years and won the inaugural USL Cup back in 2024. Over his time in Windsor, Colorado, scored 5 goals and recorded 5 assists. Flores, the 17-year-old Anaheim native, with a goal and an assist this year, and the spots pointed to. Back-to-back matches where Minnesota has conceded a penalty. A simple push from behind is as costly as it gets for Minnesota United FC2. They'll need a miracle here. It was a penalty that took them out of their match on Wednesday, and it could be one that puts an end to their day here this Sunday evening. It's Edson Carley, the man for the job. He stands at the spot. 1 goal on the year and 15 appearances for Carley. He joined the club in 2022 as an academy player. Does he have the poise and willpower to fire this one past Keen Perkins? Stutter step, Edson Carley connects. Tacoma on top. And it's Edson Carley off the critical error committed by Minnesota with the ultimate punishment. He goes opposite of Keen Perkins. The stutter slash slide step fools the keeper. And Edson Carley makes short work of Minnesota, who now trail by 1 after committing a penalty in back-to-back matches. Jade Bernard with the quick touch. He committed the infraction on Wednesday. And Brody Schaaf, in his professional debut, with an error that might have cost his team at least a point or 2. And it goes back to the points that Coach Fernando Adi talked with us about in the days leading up to the match. Just when you're in the box, you have to stay on your feet, avoid any pushing, jersey tugging, basically any tomfoolery. Because the slightest of fouls, if caught by the head official, it could be costly. And aside from the 2 penalties committed over the last couple of matches, this Minnesota team, with all the academy players starting and playing significant minutes, they've been quite good. It certainly hasn't been easy, as many of the opponents they've gone up against have had the physical, the height, the experience advantage, but they fought hard nonetheless. And to have 2 of their last 3 goals conceded be penalties, it really makes you scratch your head. Tacoma not done yet. They struggle to find an answer in the corner. It's trapped. And Minnesota draw the foul and win back possession. Omar Hassan ready to check in for Minnesota United FC2, or excuse me, for Tacoma Defiance. It was Hassan who has scored 2 goals against Minnesota in his career. Certainly history is on his side, and they're holding the substitution for now. As Perkins keeps this one as far away from his box as possible. Quick touch. Harwood with the switch. Catches the run of Bernard. Jaden Bernard. Harwood to the back line. Bojang sees an entry. Ferris backs in. Ready to receive. Minnesota feel confident with what they have on that right side. They've been unable to catch the run of Brody Schaaf. He's worked hard off the ball to receive. Just hasn't been the right look. He's quick to recover. Emmert under pressure. Works back to Shower. Kabisu applies pressure. And Minnesota continued to shift together. They've kept that tightly knit defense. But in those scramble moments, the decision making, it's been subpar. Errant ball results in a giveaway. And at the 70th minute, Tacoma begin to take a little bit more control. Tacoma, who started the year winless across their first 7 games, 5 losses, and 1 for 2 in PKs. They've turned it around as this ball goes right to the right of Perkins. And now there is the substitution. Hassan finally sees the pitch for Tacoma. Just his 6th appearance of the year. He comes on for Charlie Gaffney. This portion of the match is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Minnesota. Try and true, blue. And Kabisu has his jersey pulled from behind. Edson Carley called over for a talking from Lauren Aldrich. Does not go to the pocket. we play on. Ferris in trouble. And Lorne Aldrich warns Edson Carley the next time he makes his voice heard in a not so friendly manner, she's going to have to go to the card. Aldrich has dished out plenty of warnings. Not many bookings tonight. Just the one from Mitchell Emmert. Right now, Tacoma in search of finishing undefeated across June. They ended April with that 4-1 victory against LAFC2 for their first win of the year, and it was pretty much a domino effect going into May. Finished 500, 2 wins, 2 losses, and a PK victory. But within that time frame, picked up a couple of clean sheets. It's been all downhill in June in terms of the ease in which they've picked up points, and all 3 of them in matches. Right now in another 1-score affair. This would be their 9th if this result were to hold. Offside against Tacoma. It's now taken by Minnesota. Substitutions ready for Minnesota, just one. And it's Luke Hilly who continues his return to full fitness for Minnesota United FC2. Hector Cruz, in his 2nd professional start, finishes in the 75th minute. Luke Hilly, of course, was out for 310 days with an ACL injury. Returned to play a couple of matches ago against St. Louis City 2 with 9 matches of action. He comes on at a critical time. How big of a role could he or will he play in a possible comeback for Minnesota? A 23-year-old from Cary, North Carolina. Hasn't found himself on the ball yet. Ball on the ground, it's sent and steered aside by Minnesota. Coach Adi had nothing but praise to share for Luke Hilly. Even throughout the injury, when he's not been able to train, he's been so supportive of all the players. And he was very close to getting a first-team deal with his current form and what he had showed with the second team. And then, of course, the injury happens, and it's just a reminder of how cruel sports can be at times, as much good as there is. Hilly's had to start from scratch. This one in, it's dangerous, and Minnesota don't bat an eye at it. Curler on the back. And no one there to receive just in case. Leo Flores able to cut through the defense. Bronick. It's an improvement today for Luke Hilly, though. He was being worked in about 5 to 10 minute increments with the second team. And Coach Uddy very pleased with his progress. They're upping him to anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. It was 15 last time out, and that is the case tonight. Had 10 goals in 19 matches a year ago with the second team. Sky's the limit for Luke Hilly if he can continue to stay on the pitch. Bernard with the dispossession. Keeps it between the lines. Push from behind on Luke Hilly. Didn't like it at first, but realized that he was guilty of the foul. Up next, Minnesota go on the road on July 5th to face Houston Dynamo 2. They trail that all-time series 2 wins, 6 losses, and 4 draws. But they've had the hot hand as of late over their last 4, a couple of wins and a couple of draws as well. It would be a big result from one of the juggernauts in the Western Conference. Houston currently sit in second, just 3 points behind Austin. And for Tacoma, they'll go home to face Timbers 2, who sit third in the West table. They've lost their last 4 matches, and it will be the 35th contest against Portland Timbers 2. That's the most the Tacoma Defiance in their history have faced against any opponent. Strength of schedule is real for both these sides. Definitely for Minnesota, who in their last 7 matches, they faced the current top 4, or well, now current top 5. 4 of them here as Ventura County entered the top 4. But nonetheless, they've seen plenty of top 5 teams. He beat St. Louis, fell to Timbers 2 in Austin, took Houston to penalty kicks. But to get those matches early on in the season, see how battle-tested you are. It's crucial as Kabisu simply runs over the Tacoma player. That's an easy one for Lauren Aldrich. Schaff might have gotten pulled there. Able to draw the foul in the reset for Minnesota. We'll have less than 10 minutes until stoppage time to take action on Tacoma. They'll say it was out. And the visitors now have the ball. Chippiness from Ferris. Not afraid to get in the mix of things. Kabisu is pushed down from behind. Fernando Adi wants a yellow card. Felt like his guy was unfairly run over. Mark O'Neill back to his feet. Good sign to see. Minnesota now begin their search for one more goal to tie this match up. Pakota. Bojang given space. Closed down by Bronick, and a huge push there. Right in the middle from Jasper Winslow. You can see an arm extension. Officiating crew ready for that one. Tim Dennis in. Another academy product for Minnesota to see the pitch today. Jose Orta Ruiz, that you may have heard over the loudspeaker, makes his professional debut today. He is the youngest debutant at 14 years of age, 11 months, and 17 days old, as there's a collision in the area. Minnesota would like a penalty. That is not the case. Of course, that record age for Jose Orta Ruiz, that is the youngest in Minnesota United FC2 history. So congratulations to him on a major milestone tonight. Minnesota players felt like that last sequence was a major missed opportunity. As that one short-lived, Bronick close. A dangerous pass that barely traveled any distance. Mark Bronick pounced on it. And my goodness, Coach Adi and company should be lucky that Mark Bronick couldn't power that one through the likes of Keen Perkins. Minnesota looked to counter. It's a ill-willed ball. Victory starting to taste that much sweeter for Tacoma. They know the job's far from done, but they've done all the right things tonight to walk away with the win. Landon Lucero and Braden Smith check into the match. Minnesota have not had a shot this half. Tacoma with 4, 1 on target. We've also not had a corner kick in the second half either. Low ball by Shower. Heavy touch from O'Neal, but able to settle quickly. Tacoma's verticality, tested. Bojang evades. Ops to Perkins. Tough sequence. Troy loses that one on his own accord. Emmert on the throw. It's into traffic and last touched. Looks like Anderson Ferris got his body to the ball. And there you go, Coach Fernando Adi. Gets a few steps in. Chases that one down, and that's good sportsmanship from Coach Adi to get the ball to Tacoma as quickly as possible. Certainly would love the ball back quickly as possible himself. Pakota Ferris. Perkins has to be careful. The press on for Tacoma. Bernard had to slow his run. Makes up ground into the attacking half. Jaden Bernard ahead. Troy enters the area. Exits. Onto his right. Sliding, couldn't keep. It's sent around. Schaff on the ground. His entry rejected. Bojang. In search of a head, it looked like Kabisu. Harwood grabbed and eventually dragged down the 2026 MLS Next All-Star, who will represent the West team. Draws a crucial free kick. And while Harwood is down, we would like to recognize him and congratulate him on that All-Star appearance. He's just the 5th loon to represent the Minnesota United FC Academy in the MLS Next All-Star game. He steps away from this one. It's Ferris. Inviting chance. Oh, we're tied. What a moment. Jose Orta Ruiz, in his first professional match, has scored his first goal. The Loons are alive. And it's Anderson Ferris who delivers a picturesque ball. Jose Orta Ruiz times his run perfectly, and the youngest debutant in the history of Minnesota United FC 2. Nets one, and we very well could be headed to penalties. The resilience of this Minnesota team to not let another penalty kick plague them. In this match, it's been full of back and forth. Energy from both sides. You look at the opening goal, Minnesota, with all the academy players they trotted out in their starting 11. 8 of them to be specific. And they score first. You could see the elation and the sense of relief on the faces of the players. Then, of course, Mark Bronick with a picturesque header to even the match at 1 apiece and make it 3 consecutive games with a goal. Then Minnesota commit a critical error on their own accord, and Edson Carley gives Tacoma the lead. And then history would be made for Jose Orta Ruiz. Lofted ball into the corner for Emmert. Fourth official has indicated 3 minutes of stoppage time. Tacoma still threatening. It's a low throw by Emmert. Falls to O'Neal. Flicked it with his back heel. Bouncing ball corralled. Harwood defending. Falls just beyond the spot. Tacoma with an onslaught of pressure. Hassan couldn't leak through. It's collected. Minnesota get out and run. Dennis slows it down. Orta Ruiz right now in his professional debut at just 14 years of age. And 11 months and 17 days old. Minnesota certainly could hold. Waste some time and maybe take the last shot. What a game. Complete opposite of the previous fixtures for both of these clubs, who were 1-0 in their previous games respectively. Ferris and company continue to waste time. They need a result badly. They know there's a 50-50 shot if they can get to penalties. 2 points with all these academy players on the pitch would be crucial. Hassan looks to answer. He scored 2 goals against this very club before. Although Perkins will protect this ball at all costs. Brody Schaff, also with his professional debut today for Minnesota. Three academy players have come off the bench. That makes it 11 that have seen the pitch today. And due to the heroics of the 14-year-old, we are headed to penalty kicks. When all hope was lost for Minnesota United FC2, they relied on the youngest debutant in their club's history to even this matchup. Jose Orto Ruiz keeps the result preserved. Again, our score 2 apiece at the end of regulation. We have penalty kicks coming up. And we'll be back momentarily to explain penalty kicks and get you set up for the final moments of this match. Taking a look at how we got to penalty kicks between Minnesota United FC2 and Tacoma Defiance. It was Troy who got the scoring started off early. That was his second goal. It was a big one with 8 academy players in the starting 11. Then Mark Bronick out of nowhere heads that one in for his 3rd goal in 3 consecutive matches. Then a critical push from behind on debutant Brody Schaff. It would draw the penalty and Edson Carley would convert. But we would not be done. The youngest debutant in the history of Minnesota United FC2, Jose Orto Ruiz, would record the goal just as all hope had run out for Minnesota United FC2. That sends us to penalties. Now each team will have 5 opportunities to convert. unless the opposition has an advantage and the opponent cannot catch up. Minnesota start things off. It's Luke Hilly. Again, 310 days out with an ACL injury. Just his third match back. And Lauren Aldrich hands over to Mohamed Shower and lets him know none of the shenanigans to distract Hilly will fly in this one. Big moment for Luke Hilly. And it is in! Everyone held their breath, sat at the edge of their seats. Mohamed Shower thought he had the save, and it's Luke Hilly off the ACL injury. And just 3 matches back from his season-ending injury, gets the penalty kick. Shootout started on the right foot. It's exactly what Minnesota needed. Mark O'Neill, the captain, at 23 years of age. And he stopped! Perkins with the punch! Everyone to their feet here in Blaine, Minnesota. Keen Perkins saw this the whole way. Used 2 hands, and Mark O'Neill frustrated as he walks away from the spot. Troy got the scoring started tonight. Made his MLS debut in Week 1 against Austin FC this year. Has scored 2 critical goals here with the second team. The New Zealand man with a chance to make that life that much harder on Tacoma. And he puts it in with ease. And a little swagger, too. Turns to Shower. Has an exchange. Troy with a nice run up. It's confident. Doesn't lose his momentum in the middle of it. That's oftentimes what can throw these players ajar when they're going up for a penalty kick. They do a little too much and can often fake themselves out. But what we've seen on the last 2 makes, quick strides, confident in the spot, and then simple execution. Braden Smith, a late substitution for Tacoma. Paulo Nagamura needs this one badly. And that one's in, it's rifled. A bit of frustration on that one for Braden Smith. And Keen Perkins had no chance at that one. Anderson Ferris had that critical assist to the Jose Orta Ruiz goal. Ferris at 18 years of age, considered a veteran, started 15 out of 17 this year. It's Ferris, and he's in. The lefty picked out his spot and went right down the middle. Had Shower diving to his right. And Keen Perkins, who stopped one already, back to the end line. Leo Flores heads to the spot. Has 1 goal this year, and the 17-year-old in a crucial spot. Tacoma need this one badly. And that one's rejected! Oh, Perkins, same spot that he made the save in the first round. He goes there again in round number 3. That one off his legs, but nonetheless protects that bottom right corner. Minnesota with a chance to put it away. Luciano Pacota, the former Ohio State Buckeye, a two-time All-Big Ten player, a three-time high school state champ. Just one of two players to start every game last year. Comes here this year and he wins it for Minnesota. Pecota puts it away. And with 11 Academy players on the pitch tonight for the Loons, they get all 2 points in PKs. It might have gone off the hand of Shower. They'd gone down the middle several times. Luciano Pecota ends it, and it's a dream night for Minnesota United FC2. It's a night of the Academy and an unforgettable evening for the Twosies. Tonight's man of the match is presented by Adidas, and it goes to the 14-year-old Jose Orta Ruiz of Minnesota United FC2, youngest debutant in the history of the club at age 14, 11 months and 17 days. He is our Adidas man of the match. He sent this one to PKs, and it's a moment he certainly will never forget. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Josh Lill saying so long. Once again, our final score, Minnesota victorious in PKs over Tacoma Defiance. Don't forget you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. Have a great night.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.